I brought you into a fertile land to eat its fruit and rich produce, but you came and defiled my land and made my inheritance detestable. The priest did not ask, where's the Lord? Those who deal with the law did not know me. The leaders rebelled against me. I guess there's some gang stalkers or something trying to interrupt the video. That's that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? This is the kind of provocations, you know. I don't think I've ever heard. And the last time I was here, I was at Christmas Hill Park. They interrupted me with the honking as well. It's some coward ass shit. So the Lord's curse is on whoever is behind that, if it is an organized campaign to interrupt. Yeah, there's no excuse for that. I mean, these, you know, Freemasons and these people in social clubs, okay, they go out of their way to interrupt God's work. And you see why it says, how long, sovereign and true, when you're persecuted, when they're interrupting your work by itself, even if they're not imprisoning you and torturing you, you get mad. You see what I'm saying? You see this guy here picking food out of the thing. See, people are suffering while they're playing their stupid game, and it's not fair. So you get mad about it. You see what I'm saying? And when they raise their daughters to shun me so that I'm at the park making videos by myself. There's no group of people brainstorming for solutions. All churches have closed their doors to God's true son, and they say they're only going to preach the gospel of Baal, whose Greek equivalent is Zeus, who is the core of Western culture. Western culture was Neo-Greco-Roman culture. That's why you have Greek societies and frats. That's why you have a Senate. The Romans had the Senate. That's why the most powerful group in the world, perhaps, is the Club of Rome. And they oversee the global Western cultural push to some degree. You see what I'm saying? So, you see how they're rebelling against God. And I'm a fortified city. And they will not overcome me because all victories are in principle and in spirit. You see the extreme failure of America. Just the other day, you know, it was yesterday or so, when I was going over this video in this Mississippi, these 4 Klan members who were working for the police were operating with impunity, going around raping and killing people, sexually abusing them with impunity, causing all kinds of damage to the black community in Mississippi. Why did this happen in America with all the law enforcement agencies? There's thousands and thousands of law enforcement agencies all over America. How could this be happening? Why don't they care about what these people think? And why do they care about what rich, corrupt people think? Because they worship the devil. Because they don't have heart. So they worship the devil. They don't have discipline, so they worship the devil. They're not true warriors. They're mere fraternity craftsmen, so they worship the devil. They won't stand for what's right, even if all their offspring's souls are at stake. If they knew they'd have 1 million offspring, they would still do the wrong thing because they worship the devil and follow the representatives of the devil and are in the reproductive cycles of the devil. That's why all the offspring of the inhabitants of the earth are damned from heaven, because we're talking about thousands and thousands of years of people who worship the devil, reproducing their rape and rape by deception spirit, their child molestation spirit, their mass murder, their Roman bloodbath Colosseum spirit. And the souls of their victims cry out in the spiritual realm. They cry out to God and his son, who is me, and say, how long until these people die, till their flesh dies, and the next 189,000 every day that die, the next group comes to be judged in the spiritual realm? How long until you resurrect their filthy souls and throw them in eternal punishment? How long until they realize that they fucked up? How long till they look around and say, hey, the world is a piece of shit? There's rich pieces of shit, which Jeremiah says are like dung on the ground, and there's poor pieces of shit who still reproduce, even though they're ruled by rich pieces of shit. Now you tell me, if you were Christ, Would you let their offspring go to heaven after they only allow the lowest forms of life to reproduce, and they tried to get righteous men to settle? My whole life they're trying to make me gay. They're trying to get me to settle. They're trying to reduce my offspring's mind, body, soul, spirit expression. And they're snickering like Bezos and Arnault. They're snickering like Bill Gates and George Bush. Would you not cut their offspring off from heaven in a heartbeat as soon as your flesh dies, as the last valid king ever possible in the spirit of the first, therefore the first and the last? Would you not cut them down? See, all the nations surrounding me with their cultures, with their reproductive cycles, with their arrogance, with their cowardice as they're afraid to stand for what's right when virtue means man. But in the name of God Almighty, I cut them and their offspring souls down and off from heaven, leaving them nowhere to go but to hell. And to you who continue to persecute me, and you who give the orders, and to all you rich people, and all you people who won't obey God through me according to your deeds, I say go to hell. And if you are dumb enough to have children in this evil world, then where do you think I would tell them to go to? Thank you. They're all your offspring.
So as I pull up on this park after the other parks were making a lot of noise, here is somebody, mowing the lawn. So there's a lot of driving around that is taking place. Okay. Now, keep in mind that the government, rather their employees in plain clothes have come up to me and said, go, right, while looking at me, right, showing that they believe that they're warding the Spirit of God, right? They say they want people to see things the same way that I do, and they don't want people to look up to me. Again, remember, the constitutional law is supposed to be the highest law in the land. They're not supposed to organize as a government to deny me my freedom of speech. Okay, and I know that noise in the background is annoying, so I'm gonna wrap this up soon. This is an example of it. They didn't give me a place to go where I could, make my videos where there wasn't a lot of noise, and that includes my house, right? They're filming me in my car, so it's not a matter of just rolling up the windows. I have to roll them up and down, and then I make a video in the car, and I get fumed a lot. You see what I'm saying? It's just like earlier today when I was in Gilroy, and it caused me to get angry when that person started honking their horn back to back again and again and again, and then they clicked their alarm thing, acting like it was the car alarm, but almost certainly it wasn't, right? It was almost certainly honking their horns, because this happens all the time. And these kind of interruptions happen all the time. When I was younger, and I used to go around and just hang out, there wouldn't be any these interruptions. I've been driving, a car since I was 19, and I'm 41 years old. So I know very well how much interruptions you get, how much noise there is, generally speaking, when you go places in the city. That's what I used to do, hanging out with all kinds of people, go to this park, that park, pull over on the side of the road here, there. They make it so that everywhere's making noise, and there's all kinds of shady characters. Gang members are helping them out. Okay, there's far more gang members spread out, and I come across them far more than I used to as a kid, in the 90s included, okay, because they're there helping them run a psychological operation to deny me my freedom of speech. And it's the police is helping them, the city workers. It's what many people have reported. We see with the case of Mississippi, how many of the government workers had to come together to deny them their civil rights when they were harassing and sexually abusing those black guys. We see with the Steiners, we see it with the in Santa Cruz and Salinas with the organized stalking, where the police and the government, the mayor themselves said organized stalking is real, and the government workers, law enforcement are doing it.